G'day, how's it going? Welcome to the 52nd edition of the Cinema Effect podcast. I'm Jaden, and today I'm rejoined by special guest, Sir Kaz.
Hi, how are you?
And of course by the most popular Cinema Effect member on Letterboxd, aka PTA's number one fanboy, Liam.
Oh,
For those new around here, this is the Cinema Effect podcast where we review and talk about a different movie each week with occasional returning discussions of movies we really like in a way to relate back to it and squeeze into our chats. You can find the podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, YouTube, and any other good podcast service. I'm sure Zach chucks them up there. Also follow the Instagram page for a tad bit more interaction, as well as Zach's YouTube and Twitch channel, Sir Kaz with 2 Z's.
Oh, lovely. Does anyone actually know, like me as Sir Kaz on this? You know, is everyone confused when you're in that intro? It's what the hell are you talking about?
Nah, because you've shouted out Cinema Effect on Sir Kaz, so surely there's a tiny bit of crossover. You know?
Yeah, you'd hope so. Those subs are going up. You'd hope I'd call some of them.
Yeah. As always, we'd love to hear any thoughts you've had on the movies we're discussing, so please leave those in the YouTube or Instagram comments. But as usual, we have our question of the week, and this week we're asking, what is your favourite Oscar Best Picture winner? We'll read those responses out at the end of next week's show. Also, this week we're announcing our new viewer poll, so the most voted for film in the Instagram page will be discussed in a fortnight's time. Finney, as the current two-time champion of this poll, do you want to announce your nominee first?
I will be nominating a film called Australia.
Oh. That's not going to win.
No.
No. No. I was confident before, though, right? Like, would you agree?
No.
No way.
No, dude. Everyone, like...
You made me waste my...
just sees that and they just tap Australia? No?
You made me waste my trump card. No.
The cultural resonance?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, Finney was really hyping this up as to be like the unbeatable movie, so I wanted to counter that and try and win a poll for once. Yeah. So I nominated Parasite. Kind of wish I didn't now, but...
Who's going to blow it out of the water here?
I mean, who knows? We might be surprised. It might swing back around. We'll see.
It's going to depend on if Fitzy includes, like, puts Zach in brackets underneath Australia. That might affect it. I'm going to make a plea to the audience now, okay? You know, you don't need to see someone else talk about Parasite. You know what I mean? Everyone and their mum on YouTube's talked about Parasite. Please, vote for Australia. We need more conversation around a movie I don't know anything about. So...
I love Baz Luhrmann. I'd be more than happy to talk about Australia, but, I mean...
Thank you, Jane. Yeah, you're endorsing my pick very well.
Yeah, honestly, on the Instagram poll, I am going to vote for yours.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Everyone else should do the same. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. This week, though, we're talking about brand new 2021 film, Godzilla vs. Kong. Shit, I forgot to announce the date that it was dropped. Finney, do you happen to know that date?
I do. Hang on. It released in the US on the 31st of March 2021.
There you go. It was a week early here in Australia, though, so we got to watch it first. The film's directed by Adam Wingard, and the synopsis reads, the epic next chapter in the cinematic MonsterVerse pits two of the greatest icons in motion picture history against one another, the fearsome Godzilla and the mighty Kong, with humanity caught in the balance. Now, usually at this point, you know, the host would proceed to guide the show, but I'm horrid at that, so I'll be passing back to Zach. But I will, kick us off in saying, Liam, what were your thoughts on Godzilla vs. Kong?
Well, it was pretty fun. Not like amazing fun or anything. Fight scenes are definitely the best part of the movie, and that's obviously not the entire runtime. So the rest of the runtime is other stuff that's not as good, but it was fine. It was average, I guess. Yeah.
Sure. Finney?
I thought the movie was, had a wonderful way to dissect it. And I thought the film was inoffensive in the best way possible. I guess it was solid. It had a fair bit to like, for sure. You know what you're getting with this movie. And this movie, without a doubt, knows what it is. And I think executes that understanding like the best it possibly can, it does the best job at achieving its premise out of any film of this kind, really. You know what you're getting from a monster movie, and I don't know. I don't understand how one could be disappointed in this movie just because, the title says it all, and the title delivers on the CG fights and, just the idea of cool, crazy cinema. I personally, I think when 50 said it wasn't amazing fun, that resonates with me. Like, I didn't think it was that fun. You know, I watched it and I was bored during some moments, and the rest of it I was like, all right, you know, this is kind of cool. Like, oh, that moment when Godzilla did that thing was cool, but like, you know, so yeah, you know, I thought it was fine. There's stuff to like. Yeah, I don't know. If the premise sounds interesting to you, then check it out for sure because it won't disappoint.
What's both your histories with this franchise? Because I know Zach, you haven't seen any of the previous ones, but Liam, have you seen?
Yeah, I've seen the first Godzilla movie with Bryan Cranston.
I'd watch it just for him.
So it sounds like I fall a bit. I mean, I fall in the same category as you guys, I guess, where I do. You know, well, I mean, who knows? I guess we'll find out through this discussion. But I did enjoy myself, and I think, you know, I have watched the three previous films, and I do rather enjoy them. And I was really excited coming into this because, you know, I do love myself a bit of fuck off out the monster action. You know, I love Pacific Rim and, you know, your Transformers and the likes of just big things beating each other up. I think that this film falls into all the same trappings that the rest do, where there are just weak characters that kind of there to push the plot along a bit, but, you know, you really don't care about them and they're not well developed enough to really mean anything. But I think there is a lot to love. I think Hulkenberg did a great job with the score as usual, and I think most of the acting's pretty good. I think Godzilla could have improved a bit, but yeah, I think Kong was pretty strong.
Oh, okay. So one of the main things, right? You sort of touched on it in the 30 seconds ago, which is great, Jane. Thank you for the transition. But a common thing with these movies, I think, and having no understanding. Not only have I never seen any of the previous MonsterVerse movies, I also just haven't seen. I don't know if I've ever seen a monster movie at all, like in any capacity. I don't think I've like Transformers is the closest you'd get.
You've seen Pacific Rim, haven't you?
Movie. Is that a monster movie? I guess it is.
Yes, it's very, very much a monster movie.
I thought that movie sucked when I saw it, but yeah, I don't really remember it that way. Idris Elba's in that, right?
Yeah.
Is he? Oh,
and
cool.
It's directed by Del Toro as well. So
yeah, well, there's another Del Toro movie I've seen then. There you go. Yeah. Anyway, but one of the common things I feel like I hear people say a lot is that, you know, why do we focus on the human characters? No one cares about the human characters. We just want to see monsters fight. And this is a concept, like, I get the sentiment, I think, of where people are coming from in that, you know, sure, the main reason you hear is for the monsters and you want cool stuff with the monsters. But no one wants to watch 2 hours of monsters just fighting with zero human characters. Just correct me if I'm wrong, Jan, okay? Because I think you would if there's anyone. Is that something you want to see? Because, like, no. In my opinion, you need the humans, like, to ground the movie.
Like, you 100% do, but I think that the humans are never, you know, built up upon enough that people can get behind them, and that's why that complaint kind of echoes out through everything, is that, you know, there is quite a bit of attention on them, but they've never developed enough that, you know, it really, like, you know, when they're on screen, it matters.
Sure.
So I quite like the human interactions in Transformers and shit. Like, you know, I'm rather invested in Sam Witwicky and, you know, Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. Like, you know, like
yeah.
Like, yeah, it's not a really complaint that really resonates with me too much, but like I understand, and like I think in this one there's you know, it's pretty obvious that some of the characters could have been, you know.
Yeah, it fell a bit flat. I think if we were to, and you know, as the movie's sort of structured, if we split, tell me if you disagree with doing this. If we split the human characters in half, and we've got the how would you say, we've got Team Godzilla humans and Team Kong humans, with the Godzilla humans being Millie Bobby Brown and her mates. Is it fair to say, is that the stuff that doesn't work for you as much, Jane? Because that's the angle I come at it. Yeah,
I'd say so. And also, Isa Gonzalez's character, you know, the daughter of the bad guy, she kind of shows up, has like 4 lines, and then, you know, dies. And, you know, she kind of doesn't have much effect at all. So I think she was kind of like the main example of this. But like, I do think that, especially compared to the previous Godzilla film, because in King of the Monsters, I think it was called, whatever it was, what was it?
King of the Monsters, I think.
Yeah. It's actually got quite a bit of family drama, and it's actually quite decent between, like, you know, Millie Bobby Brown's character and then her parents. And then
Carl
yeah. I think Vera Farmiga is the other one as well.
Okay.
But then, like, they were kind of sidelined in this film, and it very much felt like it was more orientated on the Kong people. So I think, like, I think that the Godzilla people did fall flat, definitely.
Yeah, that's it. No, it was a good point about the Gonzalez character, because I actually forgot she was in the movie, and I feel like if you take her out of the movie, I don't know what that does. I don't think it affects anything. I was going in that angle of splitting them, because I totally agree with you with the Millie Bobby Brown subplot stuff. It felt like it was just there for us to get exposition and introduce plot elements that will then subsequently affect the other characters. You know what I mean? Like, we're there and they're going in the lab, and it's kind of weird, and there's some weird humor there, but they discover Mecha Godzilla, which I think is just the point of them, is to just discover that from the human perspective. And then that subsequently obviously then affects the Kong team. I don't really understand why, anything they do that's influential in the movie that just they do independently of themselves, I guess. But in saying that, I think the Kong team is probably the best human stuff, with no experience, obviously, me saying this, but probably the best human elements in a movie like this I could hope for. I thought it was all solid. I thought the little girl speaking sign language was a cool character, and I cared just enough, to the level where I'm sure they wanted me to. With her relationship with Kong was solid, and Kong's, obviously the CG is awesome just generally, but like Kong's facial animation interactions with her is really good, and Alexander Skarsgård, I thought he was really entertaining, and Rebecca Hall solid too. Like, all that stuff, relationships, dynamics there were enough to pull me in. I thought all that was pretty good. Was pretty good. Would you agree with that, Fitzy, with comparing the two teams?
Yeah, I'd say the Kong team is more entertaining, but I didn't like the little girl scenes with the sign language. I thought it was kind of, I don't know, like, she's like imitating Kong's emotions or something. I just felt like every time they cut to her, it was just another time where she was, sad or whatever, because Kong was sad, and it kind of got annoying. But
that did happen a few times.
But yeah, the Godzilla team is definitely weaker, and I didn't really find the Kiwi guy that everyone finds funny that funny. So
no,
yeah.
I didn't like him in Deadpool 2 either. Did you guys like him in Deadpool 2?
It was okay in Deadpool 2. Yeah. I just don't, like, people really love him, and I'm just like, he's not that great.
I like him in the Subway ads.
Yeah,
that's his best work.
Honestly, his best work's in like the Subway and Lynx ads.
The Lynx ads as well. They're the ones where he's in like the Kiwi neighborhoods, right? Is that what they are? And he's like,
and he's trying to pick up a girl, and like,
yeah. They're really good, genuinely.
Yeah.
Whoever wrote those, they're good. They stand out. No, I totally agree with you. I haven't seen him in any movie, I don't think. I don't know. It was cheesy and stuff. Like, I didn't hate it. I'm not sitting here saying that, dude, that shit took me out of the movie and was awful. But it was cheesy, and maybe some people liked it. I could largely look over it. Alexander Skarsgård, I mentioned him. He surprised me in this movie. Compared to what I'm used to from him and what I imagine most people are used to from him. I think my main touch point for Skarsgård is him in Big Little Lies. And him as this, like, manipulative, like, semi-sociopath husband person is, like, he totally is so good in that role. And then when I see him in this as, like, the action movie, cheesy, charismatic guy, I thought he was really good. And it genuinely shocked me. Yeah, I don't know. His performance, like, I think he can totally continue to carry movies like this. It just shocked me. Have you guys seen him in anything like this before?
I guess not.
I couldn't think of anything like this.
He was in Tarzan as well.
Oh, okay. Well, that's, yeah.
And right. Battleship. And The Giver.
It's Battleship. Yeah. Isn't that the one with Rihanna?
Yeah. Don't talk shit about Battleship. I like Battleship.
I've only seen like 15 minutes of it. But it's just the fact that it was a Michael Bay movie with Rihanna in it, and it was based on the Battleship IP, is all I needed to know.
No, I thought Skarsgård was good as the kind of scientist that got sucked into, doing evil shit, but not really. He wasn't bad in any way. So
I liked the plot of the movie. You know, it's like obviously we understand how this works with the studio, right? Like they want a movie that's called Godzilla versus Kong because money, right? That's what they want. So then it's the job of the writer and the directors and everyone involved and these artists that do a great job of like that business pitch and creating something that makes sense, is coherent, and is enjoyable ultimately, obviously. And I thought the plot was solid from a writing perspective. You know, I thought the reasons they were fighting, that they came together, was cool and made sense. It didn't feel forced in any way. You know, the whole thing of like, okay, Godzilla's threatened, so he attacks humans. Got it. Um, the big corporation is trying to defend against Godzilla, so they use Kong to go and find the power source. Like, you know, these words like power source are obviously MacGuffins and traditional things you'd expect in a movie like this. But I thought it delivered. I thought it was cool. There's no obvious, like, you know, plot holes or stuff that's kind of feels dumb and forced. I mean, because naturally the whole movie sort of feels dumb just by the nature of what it is. So I can more easily buy into the plot and stuff. So, and I think, you know, that is one of the areas I bring up because it has the most potential to go wrong, I think. If that, you know, because it's easier to pick apart some of these weird movie plots where two characters have to fight. But I don't know, man. I thought it was cool.
I like the Hollow Earth concept. I thought that was pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Was King Kong because King Kong came in like 1933, I think was his first appearance. But was he inspired by like the Journey to the Center of the Earth, like, you know, Jules Verne novels? Do you guys know? Like, are they separate things that they brought together for this?
Like, is the Hollow Earth integral to previous Kong lore and stuff?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm the last person to ask.
I don't think so, because in the original, doesn't he like get shipped like Africa or something?
Isn't he in a jungle or some shit?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
But then we're talking about what is the origin of Mecha Godzilla? Because I've heard of Mecha Godzilla just as a thing, as a concept. But is that appeared in any other movie? Is that some like cool deep cut stuff that they went to? Oh, that is a common thing in these movies.
It's
the Mecha Godzilla character.
It's a name of a movie. There's this movie.
Oh, okay.
I think the Japanese did it. I don't think there's an English version of Mecha Godzilla, is there?
There was like a bunch of Godzilla movies, like a big franchise of them that had like Mecha Godzilla and all these different monsters.
But yeah, when Mecha Godzilla turned up, and he's, you know, we talked about obviously there's going to be something they team up and fight at the end of this movie. And when it became obvious it was Mecha Godzilla, I thought that was cool. You know, I thought they could have been way lamer choices for that big bad at the end. They could have chosen some, I don't know, some weird radioactive pterodactyl or some shit. You know what I mean? Some lame.
No, he was in the last one.
Mecha Godzilla was in the last. Oh no, was there like a weird pterodactyl in the last one?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Well, never mind then. That sounds lame. Like having them team up against a Mecha Godzilla, and of course it's the humans. You know, the overpowering. I don't know what phrases am I trying to say here. You know, technological advancement that nature has to, of course, fight against, as is touched on in amazing novels such as Frankenstein. You know what I mean? So I know I thought that was a cool ultimate bad thing twist. I thought that could have been way worse.
I agree. My complaint about the Mechagodzilla though is he looks too. He seems a bit scrawny. I don't know. He seems a bit thin. You know, like his actual. I thought he'd be like bigger. I guess that's my only complaint.
I see what you mean. He isn't very thick with two C's. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. What about when the Kiwi guy said that's Mechagodzilla? You know. I thought that was a line right there. Hey, I thought, to be totally fair, like, it's not good, like, obviously, but it's cheesy. I think it's fine for this kind of movie, you know. It had me laugh in a way that I think the filmmakers understand, you know. I don't think they're trying to take themselves seriously with that.
Yeah.
Because what was it, like, didn't the black dude say, like, that's a Robo-Godzilla? He's like, no. It's Mechagodzilla, bro. Speaking of the black dude, we got this conspiracy theorist podcast guy.
Should we?
He was probably my least favorite.
I was just gonna say, should we give him a different title other than the black dude?
Yeah, no, I feel you. No, that's fair. That's fair. I think it's a situation where
His
like,
character's so unforgettable that
no, I think it's a situation where like I don't know. Like for me, I can only speak for myself, so maybe that's just it's poor wording because it only comes from internally. Like externally, it probably has bad optics. But like for myself, I don't know if there was a forgettable character who was like a super pale lady. I'd say I'd call her like, oh, and the really pale chick. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm just sort of like throwing out things I identify them by.
no, it's fair because you also said the Kiwi dude instead of addressing
The Kiwi dude, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah,
yeah. No, but I appreciate you challenging me because I never want to in any way be offensive to anyone. I don't know. I'm just talking how I talk. I feel like I'm consistent, but
no, that's the thing. Like it probably is, but like I just don't want to get cancelled before we reach fucking episode 53.
Can you be cancelled if like what? How popular do you have to be to get cancelled? You know.
I mean, all it takes is one person to cancel you.
So this dude, not all the humor for me landed with him. He was probably my least favorite character of the movie. They try and give him a backstory that's like tugs on the heartstrings. You know, his wife died. And it's like okay, but then he goes on and there's like no emotional resonance from that point, and he's just like making kind of hip jokes, you know, that resonate with the teens out there, you know, with all the cool kids. So
yeah, I remember telling Luke I thought that was kind of like random how they threw that in, but they didn't really like because usually like in a normal script you expect that to like come back and be some kind of link with why he is doing this or something, but they just kind of throw that in there that his wife's dead or something, and then they don't really do anything with it, and they just kind of leave it sitting there, you know.
I mean, it was an adequate motivation, but like, it didn't really connect.
It felt really weird that they were validating a conspiracy theorists, and especially because like, you know, some of the conspiracies he mentioned are very real ones that you know, it's like in like the movie saying, oh yeah, no, he's right, you know, everything he thinks is right. Like it's kind of weird that they'd give it that platform.
I suppose.
I don't think it's
bad.
bad.
I don't think it's bad either. Like I'm someone like I'm not coming out here as a conspiracy theorist by any means, but I respect conspiracy theorists. Maybe this is going to get me cancelled more than the previous comment. You know what I mean? I respect conspiracy theorists. I think some of them are wild and totally whack, but you know what I mean? I don't see there's anything wrong with thinking outside the box. If you're not hurting anyone, I don't really care. You know what I mean? If you got some wild theories about the way the world works, but you're just happy to talk about them, then I don't really mind. Feel free. If they were like validating some like violent group or something, you know what I mean, or some actually like genuinely harmful subsect of society, then I'd have an issue. Obviously, I think everyone would. At least he's a podcaster. That should connect with us, right?
Yeah,
he should be our favorite character.
When he popped up, I think I turned to you guys and like, but you obviously you guys were looking at the screen. I was like, that's us, but yeah.
Oh, I wish I'd seen that. Oh, that would have been great. Yeah, man. Maybe we should start a conspiracy theory podcast. Oh, well, to be fair, that's not what it was. It was like a monster truth podcast, so maybe we should do that. We've used every possible tactic to delay the actual fight of Godzilla versus Kong and talking about it, all right? So let me just say, it's honestly, I don't know if there's a lot to say. The CG is amazing. The fights are cool. They don't go on too long, which I love. You know, again, back to the argument. I don't want to see 2 hours of monsters hitting each other personally. So I was glad that that's not what this was. They were pretty well paced, I thought. There were like 3 between Godzilla and Kong and then like the mecha one at the fight. So there's like 4 fights. All last, you know, around the 7 minute mark, I think. I thought they were pretty memorable. Very much a visual sort of clusterfuckery going on, as I like to say. Which, you know, that's just what this movie is, you know what I mean? I personally don't love that aspect of it. A lot of the time it's like it's a bit of visual diarrhea is a term I've heard used and I really like. It's a bit of that, you know.
Really? I thought like
all
the action films we've seen and like even the ones we've talked about on the podcast, like the action is pretty coherent and easy to follow in this one.
Yeah, no, that's true. I didn't find it hard to follow. So I guess maybe I'm using that. No, that's a good point. I guess visual diarrhea is probably the best way to describe action that's hard to follow. Just a bit of, I don't know, just the nature of watching these full CG sequences for such a long time is something I doesn't do it for me entirely, you know. But again, that's like I've said, that's just the film itself. You know, I don't think they could have done what they're doing much better, as I've said 100 times. So, but my point is, it can overwhelm sometimes, you know, for me anyway.
Liam, did the first Godzilla Kong fight remind you of from Neon Genesis Evangelion, where they introduce Asuka and like they're on the ships and like the angels in the water and whatever, and like he comes out and like they have to use the mech to like jump from ship to ship and like they get dragged under and shit.
I didn't remember that, but I guess Evangelion is good comparison to Godzilla in terms of what they look like and how they behave and stuff. So I just like how Godzilla has that kind of like mythic quality. You know, he's cool. And he's just like he's a big lizard. He has a cool design, and the way he flips his tails at those ships and destroys them, and has that beam that he shoots out of his mouth. It's pretty cool. So
yeah, I mean, it's obviously the film's definitely like Kong is the one you sort of resonate with on the human level because monkeys are close to us and all that shit, right? But I mean, I liked Godzilla too. I liked you definitely like Godzilla. You definitely get lesser of, no doubt, but. I liked all the little thing. I liked all the close-up shots we got of Godzilla, and like when we sort of looked directly into it. Is it a he or she? Or is it just it? I don't know how to address it.
I think Godzilla's a he because he has a girlfriend in the last one.
Oh wow, Mrs. Godzilla over here. You know,
it's a moth.
Oh,
it's a moth. Okay, but
right, that's wild.
Oh, the Kong sequences with like the music playing, I thought that was pretty funny. You know, like when they first introduced him to the island, it plays that 80s rock music or whatever, and he's just chilling, having a bath in the waterfall and stuff. I mean, that was fun. That's a nice touch. Did that a couple times, I think. When he's in the water, he's like got his hand, against the sea or whatever, and playing that chill music. It was nice. Yeah.
But yes, I also really liked the Kong intro sequence. Oh, I did really actually enjoy when because they take down Mechagodzilla, and I really liked you get the cliche at the end of any sort of natural disaster / monster / city attack movie where like you're in the rubble aftermath and all the human characters like run up to each other and hug each other and spout their regular dialogue. I liked the slight subversion of that where like I think Kyle Chandler like is saying something to Millie Bobby Brown and Godzilla like interrupts them like roars or something and like it cuts away and then we like Godzilla and Kong have their last interaction and then we never go back to the human characters like in that scene. I like that a lot. I thought it was cool because I'm like, oh Jesus, here we go, 3 minutes of the characters like doing their bullshit. But Godzilla saved me in the movie as himself. He saved me. Thank you so much. And their last little stare down, Godzilla and Kong, was like, you know what I mean? It's like that fight thing. It's like in a boxing match or something, like mutual respect at the end. You're like, yeah, bro, let's do this again sometime.
Yeah,
it was cool. Love his score.
Yeah,
he does good stuff, man. I love his. I really enjoyed his stuff in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I really enjoyed his stuff in BVS, which is of course Hans as well. But and there was something the other day where I didn't realize he had done a movie I liked, and I was like, "Oh shit, that was really good too." I can't remember what it was, but now he impresses me consistently, and he does it again here. You know, where it's like, it's nothing I'm gonna play back and think like, "Dude, this is a musical masterpiece." But he does a great job at immersing you in the feel of the movie and the spectacle of it. And it was something I was noticing as I was watching. I'm like, "Oh, this is very fitting." We didn't even address the fact that this is a special film in that for multiple reasons. Not only is it the first film we're reviewing that we saw in the theater, it's the first film we're reviewing we watched together, the three of us, in the same room. That's pretty cool. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Well,
I mean, we already brought up the Hollow Earth, but I did really like the whole idea of the gravity like meeting in the middle and like when Kong jumps up and he like flips, inverts or whatever. It's not Tenet, he doesn't invert, but you know what I mean?
I heard Kong did all his own stunts in the film.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Good for him, man. He's getting
at his age, so like, yeah.
Right. He must be ancient these days.
So Tom Cruise of Monster Movie.
I think on the press tour, Kong did mention something about he was really inspired by Mr. Cruise. I think he said that. What would you give it out of 10 then, Jane? Go for it.
Well, when we first came out of it, I think I immediately assigned it a 7. I forgot that this was something we are going to be talking about, so like I chucked it on Letterboxd straight away. Apologies, please.
Yeah, I'll never forgive you for that. Atrocious.
Yeah.
Atrocious.
But I think like after like a day of like reflection, I think I dropped it down to a 6. Not because I thought any lesser of the movies, but like I think because I think I had like, I was. I think just in comparison to the other ones that came, I think like it doesn't really stand near Skull Island. I mean, no, that's a lie. It does. I think it's pretty good and it's close to Skull Island, but it's not quite there. So I just dropped it down to a 6. But it's still a very good. For what it is, I think it's a very good movie.
Sure. I mean, the fact that you still think like Skull Island's up here is good for me because I don't know.
I think the Skull Island's
to check it out then.
It's definitely the most complete one. I haven't seen Peter Jackson's 2005 3-hour one, so I don't really know.
That sounds terrifying.
But like of these like monster movies, like from like 2014 to now, Skull Island is without a doubt the best one.
What would you give it, Fitzy?
Oh, slap a 5 on that one, I reckon. I mean, yeah, it was. Fight scenes were good, It was a movie. It was a movie. So
I'm pretty sure it was. I'll give it a 6. The easiest score I've ever had to give out in my life. It's like totally sums up everything I said. Solid. Know what you're getting. Didn't like amaze me, but stuff to like I mentioned. I'm actually pretty proud of the amount of stuff we sort of delved into there. That was a pretty.
Really?
I was worried that this was going to be like. I was concerned this was going to be like really like, dude, I don't know, Godzilla and Kong 4, and that was it. Like we talked about a fair few elements there.
Dude, I think we've padded this like for 20 minutes with like random bullshit as well. So man,
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Do you usually say something in the intro news chat other than just saying?
I say let's get into news chat.
Let's jump right into the news then. Righto, Obi-Wan cast was announced. I was devastated because there was Ahmed Best was not coming back to reprise his role as Jar Jar. And that was the only thing I took away from this. But I think Zach had some more notes on the cast list.
I'm shocked this is the only thing that you took away from this. I don't know, like, dude, I looked at this cast list, and I was shocked at how much like interesting film crossover there is here. That
Well,
I think Indira Varma was like in it. I think I took note of her name being there, but like that was about it.
Right. Well, I mean, let's. I'll run down it quickly, right? So we got Ewan McGregor, obviously. You got Hayden Christensen, that obviously. You got Moses Ingram, who people may know from The Queen's Gambit. Joel Edgerton confirmed as Uncle Owen once again, which is neat. Love that, dude. Justice for Uncle Owen. Uncle Owen's about to become like a solid character, I think. You don't cast Joel Edgerton in this, and he's just in a few scenes, all right? Like Owen Lars is about to be a character in this show, and I'm here for it.
That'd be cool.
I think it's cool, and I think there's genuine, like, all kidding aside, I think there's genuine character stuff you can do there that's interesting to why Owen's like has this weird relationship with Obi-Wan in A New Hope, like basically tells Luke he doesn't exist, don't go and seek him out. I think there's something you can do there, especially at the end of Revenge of the Sith. For all we understand, they're on great terms, so I think there's something you can do there. Bonnie Pease, or however you say her name, who's Baru in Revenge of the Sith, so Joel Edgerton's wife there. You've got Kumail Nanjiani, who's showing up in literally everything these days, which is insane. He's the dude from The Big Sick, which is a movie about him.
Yeah.
He's in Eternals in November. So this is just showing up in everything. Someone made the point that I listened to that he would make a lot of sense for like a voiced character, like an alien or a droid or something. Just because he's got a distinct voice. Not, he could be great just by himself too, but it sort of makes sense if you're going to have a character like that. Indira Varma, once again, Game of Thrones. Do you know it from anything else, Jaden, other than being Pedro Pascal's missus?
She was in something else I've seen. I can't recall. I think it might have been... she was in Luther. She was in the first season of Luther. That's right.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so good for her. Her and Pedro getting on in Star Wars for sure. You got Rupert Friend, however you say his name, who's I don't know, he seems to be quite famous. He's totally a villain in this show. Like, looks like the most villain character I've ever seen in my life. I've only seen this one photo of him, and this dude's totally a villain. You've got O'Shea Jackson Jr. in this goddamn show. Are you kidding me? Ice Cube Jr.? This dude's great. This dude's a great actor. He was great in Straight Outta Compton. There's this movie called Den of Thieves with Gerard Butler, and I didn't like the movie, but he's great in it. So when I saw this, I'm like, this is not a vibe I was getting from Star Wars, so this is dope. You've got Sung Kang, who everyone knows as Han from Fast and the Furious, which is hilarious. Yeah, just, I don't know what he's going to be doing, but dude, I don't know. That
Pod
sounds,
racing,
that sounds
obviously.
cool. Pod racing, yeah, right. This is pod racing right here with Han. That's funny.
When's this show set?
10 years after Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, okay. So
Dead in the middle of the trilogies.
Looks like 10 years old.
Yeah. They're going to cast some 10-year-old boy as Luke. That's going to happen.
Oh, really?
I mean, I'm just making that up, but I'd be very surprised if they don't.
That's a Cinema Effects exclusive right there.
Yeah, right? Cinema Effect report. You've got Simone Kessel, who is actually the only one I don't know for any reason, so apologies. But last but not least, you've got Benny Safdie in this show.
Oh my god.
How incredible is that?
That's awesome. I'm watching it now. That's great. That's awesome.
You're watching it now. Yeah, right? It's totally insane. Like, you think, for me, the premise of this show alone, Ewan McGregor coming back between the trilogies, Vader, you've already won everyone over at that point, right? Nah. Let's also make all the cinephiles happy and put Benny Safdie in this show. This is gonna be great. This is the last thing I expected, but I can't even begin to speculate.
It's such like he's an auteur, director, actor as well. So it's funny him being in the Disney product. But
yeah, man, I would assume. I mean, he's probably just a Star Wars fan, I guess. I don't know, but yeah. I would then also hope that he read that script and thought it was awesome. It's probably a good sign for the script, honestly, because he's a great writer too. Anyway, so that's the cast. I was shocked of how stacked it was, personally. I was very surprised. And I'm tremendously... The more I think about this show... Let me go on a quick Star Wars rant, sorry. The more I think about this show, the more exciting it gets about the possibilities. And... Because I know we often joke about, and Star Wars fans often joke about, like, what's the show going to be about? Is Obi-Wan just going to sit in his hut and make coffee? But the more you think about it, this show's going to have insane character development, I think, for Obi-Wan as a character, and cover some really interesting thematic concepts, especially when you start thinking about where you leave Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith and where he's in the original trilogy. Some lines of dialogue that, I don't know, I want to bring it up because I don't know if a lot of people have thought about this. And this actually basically tells us what the show's going to be, if you think about it, right? In Return of the Jedi, Vader tells Luke seeks out to redeem Vader. Vader tells Luke, Obi-Wan once thought as you do. Obi-Wan once thought that Vader could be redeemed. Not only have we never seen Obi-Wan learn that Anakin is Vader, we have never seen Obi-Wan in any way believe that Vader can be redeemed, Anakin can be redeemed. That's what this show's going to be about. Obi-Wan's going to learn that Anakin is Vader, and through the flashbacks, and this is why Hayden Christensen's going to be so integral to the story, they're going to, and this is the thing that makes Obi-Wan leave Tatooine. It's the only thing that possibly could. He leaves Tatooine because he believes there's a chance he can redeem Anakin, and he takes it, and he will ultimately fail. And I think it's a really cool story they're going to tell here.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that he didn't know he was Vader, because that's, yeah.
Well, in A New Hope, he obviously does. In A New Hope, he clearly understands.
Oh, yeah. But at the end of Revenge of the Sith, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, we never see him learn that. And even in Empire Strikes Back, Force Ghost Obi-Wan is like, and Luke's wanting to go to Cloud City, and Obi-Wan's like, bro, you're gonna have to confront Vader. You're gonna have to kill Vader. At that point, Obi-Wan's totally like, dude, Vader's lost. You need to kill him. He's not in any way considering Luke can redeem Vader because 10 years earlier he went on this journey himself to do it, and he knew he couldn't do it. I think it's going to be sick. And it's going to play into like trauma and psychological shit. I think it's going to be dope.
So wait, this hasn't been explored in like anything else, like
No, never.
Revolves or whatever.
No, never been explored. Makes perfect sense. Anyway, hope that excites someone out there. What's next, Jaden?
Next we have that Netflix buys Knives Out for $450 million, and I think with that deal, Rian Johnson is staying to write and direct. Correct?
My understanding is that they've bought 2 sequels with Ryan and Daniel in.
Yeah, and these are going to be, mysteries around. These are going to be centered on Craig's character, and they're going to be new mysteries, not something that they're not going to like bring the old family back into it and tie them into new bullshit. It's going to be a new story. It's
like my understanding of the Agatha Christie thing. Like it's a new story with the same detective. Yeah, sounds amazing. By the way, I mean we already knew a sequel was coming. I was already stoked for it, but knowing that there's going to be another sequel as well, hey, $450 million. By the way, nothing to scoff at.
Righto. Next up, we have that Russell Crowe is speculated to be in Love and Thunder. There's a Deadline report, I think Zach said, that announced this, but there's no official announcement from any kind of party. So, I mean, we'll see how that one plays out.
Yeah, it's not official like Christian Bale is. Like, Christian Bale is in the movie. Like,
yeah.
Kevin Feige confirmed. He is playing the villain. I don't remember its name. Something Kang the Conqueror. That's it.
Christian Bale's playing the villain. That's nice. Yeah.
This is a big new story. We'd probably mention it anyway because it's Russell Crowe and Marvel, right? But this is big because this movie is going to be amazing. A Taika Thor sequel, yes. Natalie Portman coming back, yes. Guardians of the Galaxy being in it, yes.
Oh, really?
Christian Bale playing the villain, yes. And now Russell Crowe. It's like,
seems good.
Taika, you're gonna do it again, aren't you, mate?
Next up, we've got a bunch of trailers. I guess we'll kind of just blow through these. There's a Wrath of Man trailer for Guy Ritchie's new film. I think that drops in May, right? Or April?
Yeah, so
May?
Soon.
I think it's May. Yeah. Liam, you watched that? Did anything strike you about it?
No, I mean, it looks like a Guy Ritchie film. I don't know. Looks good. Looks okay. Did any of you guys watch the trailer? I thought Zach watched the trailer. Oh, okay.
No, sorry, I did not. I did not watch the trailer. But this is Jason Statham, and I understand it's got something to do with some cool like truck robbery stuff. Am I making that up? Is that what?
Yeah, he's an Armour Guard employee, and he's just going to drive through cryo for a day.
Right.
It's a revenge movie.
Oh.
His son gets killed or something, and I think he has to infiltrate these like heist people and find the person. He wants to kill the person who killed his son or something. So I think Guy Ritchie on a revenge film sounds pretty dope.
Yeah, man. My most two anticipated Guy Ritchie movies are, of course, this and Aladdin 2. Really excited for both of those.
Is that confirmed happening?
I believe so. I don't think I'm making that up.
Next up, more Star Wars news, this time animated. We've got a new trailer for Bad Batch. Finney watched this one, and you want to drop your thoughts?
It's dope, man. Is there any reason you didn't watch it? You're just sort of at this point, like, I'm watching it, whatever. Like, is that?
I didn't even know there was a new trailer.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah, showed me exactly all I wanted to see from this show. Clone Wars sequel, all the things we talked about. Clone Wars sequel, characters popping up, more returning characters confirmed, and Cad Bane hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's going to happen. And I'm so excited for this show. It's gonna tie up all the B-level stuff from Clone Wars, I think. I think Season 7 was the great way for them to finally tie up Ahsoka and Rex and stuff. Although, spoiler alert, Rex is in this trailer. So that's awesome. But, this is going to be their chance that they never got to finish with Clone Wars. This is going to be... They're going to tie up Cad Bane. They're going to tie up... There's definitely going to be Kid Boba Fett. All the cool
I
stuff.
don't want Kid Boba Fett.
I mean, he's terrible in Attack of the Clones. I like him in Clone Wars, though.
I mean, even in Clone Wars, he's a bit of a shit cunt. I mean...
Do you reckon? I like all the I
mean, like his story with Aura Singh, like the one where he tries to kill Mace Windu, is kind of interesting, I guess. But like,
yeah. No, I personally think like I like a lot of that stuff, and like it actually plays with the fact he's a clone and like he has struggles to kill clones and stuff. I think all that stuff's pretty interesting. But no, but you're right. Aura Singh is cool too. But anyway. We're going to get more of that. But then, of course, like, we just get a look at more of this time period, and we're 100%, like, this trailer emphasized so much, we're seeing that transition between Republic and the Empire. Tarkin's going to be one of the main antagonists. And Saw Gerrera showed up again, but as, like, his Clone Wars voice actor, which is cool. So they're actually, like, playing with, at some, like, the continuity of, at some point, this person becomes Forrest Whitaker, which is funny. You know what I mean? But, so, those are some of the and I think if they were willing to show us Rex and Saw in the trailer, I think they're going to have something else up their sleeve too. Because otherwise, I think they could have easily just hidden those characters.
Well, I did see a thing. I didn't realize. I just thought it just popped up, but I didn't realize it was attached to a trailer hype. But I saw a thing that was speculating that Vader's going to be the one to hunt down all the Bad Batch and stuff.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. I
think they'll use. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Vader's in the show. I think he'll be used very sparingly. Like the way he's used in, like, even less than Rebels. Like, he's used sparingly in Rebels, but even less.
Yeah, his use in Rebels is great.
Yeah, cool trailer. I'm very excited for the show.
All right, moving on. I think we got a few trailers that I don't think anyone watched, but I think we'll just mention briefly is that we got the Suicide Squad trailer 2.
Which is so funny, by the way. We got a whole new trailer.
Yeah, within like 5 days.
Deja vu.
Yeah. We got a Spiral. We got a second trailer for Spiral from the Book of Saw, which is, the next film in the Saw kind of franchise, but it moves away from that kind of formula of like trap and escape, and it kind of goes more with the detective thriller type vibe. I watched the original trailer, I think probably like a year ago, to be honest.
Oh wow! So is this one of these COVID delayed things? I guess
it must be, because I feel like I watched that trailer ages ago. I think it's got is Chris Rock in it? Is that right?
Yeah.
I think whoever stars alongside him is pretty famous as well. I just forgot at the moment. But it looks genuinely interesting, and I think the director was talking about how he's took influence from Seven, and like that was one of the main influences for this film. So I'm very keen for Spiral, although I haven't seen most of the Saw films. Liam, does this do anything for you?
I haven't seen the trailers.
No.
But I mean, it looks decent. Yeah, I think I saw the original trailer, so it looks pretty good.
I think just the premise of Chris Rock in a serious role is interesting, because I think I only know him for his comedy,
Yeah.
Yeah, we can end news chat there, I guess.
Yeah.
And we'll move into highlights of the week. Do either one of you have a preference of who goes first? Liam,
Zero. Do you want to do paper scissors rock over video?
Oh yeah.
There we go. How do we time this?
We get paper scissors rock.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Paper scissors rock. Wait, what was that?
Yeah, no, I think there's a huge delay.
Yeah,
I was doing it live with you, I promise, on my perspective.
Yeah, no, you
was
took
it really delayed?
You took like a second after Liam did it.
Yeah.
Oh, like I was predicting what he was going to do. No, I did. Whatever. Fitzy, you go first then.
I think Possessor was my highlight, which is a new sci-fi horror film, 2020 film. Like really kind of like body horror, like kind of gory at times. I feel this really cool concept. It's like basically there's this company that like infiltrates other people's bodies, their consciousness, to kill people, and like they get hired. So this guy and this family hires them to kill the father of this girl, Sean Bean, from the perspective of the daughter's boyfriend. And then the daughter's boyfriend guy has to kill Sean Bean, the father, the owner of the company, the daughter, and himself, as like another. Okay, sorry, I'm explaining this bad. Okay, so it's like infiltrating consciousness. It's like a kind of Black Mirror kind of concept. It's a really cool concept.
Nolan,
yeah, I guess so. It's kind of like a interesting Nolan concept. This actual story of like the Christopher Abbott and the dad is really interesting. But the actual main character, which is the person who's infiltrating the body, and what happens with that is kind of not interesting. So like the main plot is he has to kill Sean Bean. She has to kill Sean Bean for his body. And all that happens is really cool. But then like the main thing that the movie is doing is like it's showing like the negative trippy effects of like invading the consciousness. It's got all these like trippy like effects and like all this gore and like random images and stuff and sequences. Like, oh my, the consciousness is like being tormented, my brain's getting damaged and stuff. But after that whole main story takes place, that's pretty much all that happens. It's like we're in Christopher Abbott's body and there's two hosts, and it's like kind of demented and weird, but then it doesn't really do anything with that. It just kind of like keeps doing the same thing. It's like, oh, it's trippy for the last like half an hour or so. So it doesn't really, the last half an hour doesn't really go anywhere. It kind of just falls a bit flat. But yeah, it's weird because the actual story inside the story is good, but then the story itself of Boss is not as interesting. So I tried to explain it the best I could, but yeah.
What did you give it?
Job, a 5, but I mean, I'm probably being a bit harsh, probably like a 6 or 7 too.
Don't worry, dude. You had me at Sean Bean.
The Sean Bean part is like the best part of the movie, which sucks because it's not the main part of the movie. It's like a part of the movie, but it's not like the main thing. Like the main thing it's going for is just like, oh, it's really weird to be in a different consciousness, but then it like doesn't really. It's not as interesting as the actual Sean Bean stuff. Anyway, but yeah, I'd still recommend it. It was a bit disappointing in the end. So
you mentioned
cool beans.
Body horror. How much? Is it like? I don't love body horror. I can get past it. But like, if there's anything to do with nails, can't do it. Is there anything to do with like nails pulling or shit? Can't stand that.
There's something to do with eyes.
No, eyes are fine.
Eyes are fine? Oh, you'll be fine then. Yeah. I don't know if body horror is the right term, but it's very visceral, like bloody kind of horror. Not horror, just like gore, blood, that kind of thing.
Penny, you want to go next?
The host must guide me, I watched this movie called Togo. It's a Disney Plus film about, you got Willem Dafoe out there in 1920s Alaska, and he's racing them snow dogs, basically. And it's a good movie, man. It's pretty well rated. I think it's underappreciated. Not enough people have seen it, I don't think. Probably because it's a Disney Plus movie, but one that was like, I think it was just sort of thrown in with the pack around launch of the service like a year and a half ago, whenever that was. So like it's sort of overlooked and stuff, which is fair enough. But surprisingly good movie, more than you'd expect from like a Disney original film. It follows this Willem Dafoe's out there. He's based on a true story. Interesting. He lives in this isolated town in Alaska, and basically it's been hit by a plague of sorts. And he has to race to get the medicine from a certain other drop point in order to save the kids in time, and that's what the movie's about. But also
like a video game side story,
like a side quest. But it's got these very, like, one of my main criticisms is that like the actual action of the sledding is that what you'd call it? I don't know, like the dogs on the scenario. Like some of the action's really elaborate, like way over the top. There's no humanly way this ever happened. Like literally, like ice like snapping and falling like completely over the top insanity. So like that didn't feel super grounded when the rest of the movie does, which is weird. But that's sort of the main plot driving it. But then you get so many flashbacks cutting back to sort of the origin of Willem Dafoe and the main dog Togo is like their relationship. And I think the dynamic between playing with this RPG side quest plot and the heart of the movie is the relationship with the dog and the human is really good. And, I'm a sucker for those kind of movies, but I also appreciate, without spoiling it, like it subverts your expectations with where that goes. If you understand where traditional dog movies go, this subverts it, which I appreciated. And I was ready for it to kill me, and it sort of didn't, in a good way though, and it was still satisfying as well. So,
do the dogs eat Willem Dafoe? Is that the subversion?
There are 5 like sled dogs. Yeah, they all eat a body part, a limb each.
It's my turn to talk, I guess. I only watched one film this week, which surprised me. It's called Bluebeard by Catherine Breland. It's on Stan. It's French. It's like from 2009. it's completely middle. I mean, like it's boring as shit. It really is. But like it's okay, I guess. It's kind of a modernization and a retelling of a fairy tale, but it's not a modernization. That's a lie. 'Cause it's fucking set in like the 12th century, but like it's a contemporary retelling. Is that even correct? Because contemporary implies modern day. It's a reworking. It's a reworking of a French fairy tale.
Okay.
I think is the way to say it. And it kind of, the story is told from, it's by these two girls reading a book, and then, the like the actual fairy tale that they're reading is also shown. It's a very flat movie, I guess, is how you describe it. In like the fact that like it's like it's not. There's no vibrancy. There's no real spectacularity. There's nothing spectacular about it. Yeah, there's no spectacle, and like from performance to direction to set, and like everything else in between. But like it still has this oddly beguiling thing to it where you just kind of do want to watch it. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's French and you have to read the subtitles, and that's what kept me into it.
Oh,
honestly, if it was English, I don't think I would be able to fucking watch it. But like yeah, no, I couldn't recommend it to anyone. But like it was a fine. It was like a 5.7 out of 10.
Sure. Yeah.
What is what is your like process of choosing a movie, Jane? Do you just like?
Oh, I saw it on Stan. It came up in like the foreign movies selection. I was like, fuck it, Bluebeard it is.
Okay.
Well, now's the time where we hand the show over to you guys, the listeners. Now, last week we asked you who was better, Godzilla or Kong. I don't have these comments, so Finny, you have to take over.
Don't worry, they're very long. Andy said Godzilla's Asian, so he's technically better. And Luke said Kong is better.
Ah.
That was it. I would have liked, we make fun of it a bit, the whole who would win in a fight, like cringe question. And but the interesting thing about those discussions that dorky people have is that like, oh, but like Superman's got this power and this would count, like there's actual reasoning like that people and thought people put into that. I was hoping for a bit of that maybe, like someone could go like, oh, but Godzilla's got, I don't know, Godzilla's got like horns on his back, and therefore if Kong tries to attack him from behind, he'll just stab himself. You know what I mean? Like, but that's okay.
Our answers. Liam's been pretty vocal about his opinion on this.
Yeah.
Do you want to go over it one more time?
Yeah, I mean, Godzilla's just better, isn't he? He's just OP. He's a cool character. He's got lasers coming out of his mouth. And he's got massive spiky armor, and he's just a massive lizard.
I don't know. I mean, this movie's my only judgment, other than just, of course, like aesthetics. Who looks cooler? I mean, Godzilla looks cooler for sure, because Kong's just like a giant monkey, you know what I mean? But like Kong, I don't know. I liked Kong better in the movie. I mean, I guess you're meant to. Like Kong, I felt like that connection, that resonance you have. I know the same way you like connect with animals, you know what I mean? Because he is an animal, but like, he has that humanoid aspect that's easy to sympathise with, So I sort of like him better, I guess. I feel like I could more easily, go out and have a couple drinks with Kong over Godzilla, You know what I mean? That's what.
Although you don't drink.
Oh, no, but we pretend I do on the show, Jan. That's it's part of law is that I'm a cool person.
We'll make you a raging alcoholic.
Right?
Yeah.
You totally could too.
I fall on the King Kong side of this as well. I was thinking like, is it just because I like Skull Island better than the Godzilla movies? But I was like, no, if that is the reasoning, then I guess that's valid. I'll deem it as valid. So fuck you and anyone that disagrees. With the validity of my with the validity of my reasoning. Not. I respect Godzilla appreciators. But yeah. I feel like Godzilla's kind of objectively cooler, but I mean, like, King Kong's monkey, so I mean,
Yeah. That's really all it comes down to, right?
Yeah.
That's really it.
So, yeah, well, I guess, Liam, what are we watching next week?
We're doing Argo, Ben Affleck's Argo. He directed it, and he's the main actor. That's on Netflix. So, Best Picture winner. Check that one out.
Hey, there's the appearance of the children.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
I think that's it for this week, isn't it? Remember to vote in the Instagram poll. Leave your comments as usual.
You know who to vote for. Get the job done, people.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I hope you do win, Finny, because I don't want to talk about Parasite. I haven't seen Parasite, but I don't really want to talk about it in this show.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
Nah, it'll be good. It'll be good.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. See you later.
What about next week?
Do you have something to? What?
Don't we have to do next week's question?
I said that at the start.
Oh, you have, yeah.
Did I?
Yeah,
Is it right?
Wait, hang on. What is next week's question?
About the
Again?
best docs.
Best picture winner.
Yeah, best picture. Yeah.
Did you do it? You did, right? Didn't you?
No, I swear I did at the start.
Did you?
Look, I'm pretty sure
No.
I did.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I did. And if I didn't,
Yeah.
then people will only get to use this as their little fucking prompt. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, yeah.
Cheers for watching, listening, rather. I mean, you're listening. Goodbye.